Hi and welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje Koenen and I love drawing, and I know that you love drawing too because you're here. So let's draw together. And today I want to take you on location. I went into town, I ordered a salad, and while I was waiting for my salad, I drew the scene that I saw in the streets at the canal where I was sitting. And I took a picture every 2 minutes of my drawing. And I did that instead of filming it because I think it's not exactly a step-by-step process, but seeing it in increments like that, instead of seeing it growing on video, it helps you to understand how I build my drawings. And of course there aren't any rules, so this time I build it this way, and next time I will start at a completely different point because I will be looking at something completely different. And even if I would be drawing the same scene, I would probably approach it differently because there aren't any rules and there's not one way to do this. But seeing my process in 2-minute increments can really help you to understand where you can get started, how you can get started, and how you then just keep on going. And then of course I hope that you will go out and go and draw on location and have some fun. I'm using my Stillman and Birn sketchbook, which is quite small, but it is kind of handy because it all fits into a small purse with just a few sketching tools. It's very, very portable. So that is the upside of it. The downside of it is that I need more space. Usually I would choose a sketchbook with more space, with bigger pages, and also the portrait format. I like that much better than the landscape format. But I have this sketchbook, I've had it for years, so finally I decided to just crack it open and fill it. Why not? It's a challenge, so let's do it. Let's get started. I brought a very minimal kit, easy to stick into a small bag. So my Stillman and Birn small sketchbook, and then I have my watercolors and a water brush and a napkin, and my Pilot parallel pen. I am discovering and exploring it. I might want to use it, I'm not sure. That hot pink colored pencil is fun. Maybe I will use it, maybe not. My Sailor fountain pen with fouet nib, always a good one. I don't know if it might be too fat for this small sketchbook, we'll see. And I have a bunch of colored pencils in case I want to add some on top of watercolor. And these are just colored pencils that have gotten too small to keep in my pencil case, but they are really great to have if I need a quick scribble. So my view while I am waiting for my lunch is really pretty. There's a lot of green, and I can look into this street along the water. And I'm starting with something that I find really hard, and that is a car. So I start drawing the car, just really trying to let go of the idea that this is too hard. I'm just doing it, and it's not too bad. I use my foreground as well. There are some plants in the foreground. So those are my first 2 minutes in. And I decided to use my Sailor fountain pen because I figured that with this Sailor pen I can create thick lines and thinner lines. I'm just a little bit more familiar with this pen than with the other pen. So let's see how it goes. And I'm working my way a little bit more into the foreground, really trying to sort of spiral around the beginning of my sketch so that, well, if I would have to go away now, then at least I have something of a sketch that makes a little bit of sense. Plus, using my foreground to create a sense of context and also lots of landmarks just is really helpful. Fiddling a little bit more with the foreground, adding those chairs and some more plants. And now I am ready to fill in a little bit more of the background. And I'm not doing any detail, I'm just using simple lines for the windows because that indicates enough. I don't need to outline every single window. I also left out a row of windows. Who cares? You can really see that I'm capturing buildings in the background, and that is the point. It doesn't have to be super accurate. More buildings in the background, or basically roofs. And then there's sort of the middle ground behind the cars, and in front of those buildings in the back, there's a lot of trees. So I'm drawing those. And to understand what goes where, I'm also drawing the edge of the pavement, giving myself a little bit more of a foreground with those chairs. I'm working on the pavement more. I'm having fun with the grassy bits. Again, not being too accurate. I'm squeezing things into each other so that I can also add in that little edge of a small wall all the way on the left. Just because I like that as an end point and to indicate there's more going on outside of this view. And now I'm ready to add more background. You can hardly see it in the drawing, but there's water, a narrow canal. And on the other side of the canal, there are trees and buildings. So that's what I am adding. And in the meantime, I am leaving the right-hand side alone. I'm happy with that for now. Just really concentrating on this part of the drawing. So I'm not really even worrying about the whole, just drawing the bits and pieces that I'm concentrating on right now. And I'm starting to lose myself in mark making just because I'm having fun using thinner lines, and I'm trying to indicate that this is another plane as well than the foreground or the plane where the car is. And I'm also smudging my lines. I don't mind. I'm having a lot of fun here. And you can really see the difference between how I am holding my pen. So if I hold it more in an upward angle, I can create really thin lines. And if I hold it flatter, I create those thicker lines. So it's really fun to play with that. Now I am taking a step back, and I realize that in the background I have used quite thick lines. So that didn't feel balanced with all the thin lines on the left of the drawing. So I traced some of the outline and added some thicker lines as well and some hatching to balance things out a little bit and just basically add a little bit more contrast to balance things out from left to right on the left page and the right page. In the meantime, lunch arrived, I ate my salad, and then I had some fun with my fluorescent pink pencil. And of course, I'm not being true to the colors that I see in real life, because the lights of the car would be red, and that flag has a very dull color, and the roofs are not bright pink but have a certain warm brown red hue, but still the hot pink translates into something that is a warm color, and that's basically all I need. So I also added some marks in one of those trees that has a really beautiful red color, and then also some marks in the back to indicate that there's flowers and other stuff going on. I'm just having fun with this fluorescent color. And now I'm ready to add some color, and I am looking at my view, trying to sort of capture the red, the darkish red, and it's a mix of red and green that makes this brownish dark red. I use that same mix to add green to for the bushes that are there in the horizontal sort of line. And I keep mixing all kinds of greens, using yellow, using blue, so that I have a fantastic variety of greens here in my drawing. And to add more depth in the colors, I am adding layers on top of the dried watercolors. So you can really see how that gives depth to those trees on the pavement and also the trees in the back. And not only am I adding depth to the trees, but also you can see that I added a gray to the buildings in the background to indicate that they are farther away, so they won't pop as much as the other buildings. I used the same gray for the indication of shadow for the pavement on the street, but also the wall of the canal, But that wasn't enough. I added more blue tones to the gray and gave it another layer for the wall and the street. Added more texture on the street, more gray. And also I gave the car a color and left some whites for highlights. And I'm almost done. However, I think the building left is very bright white right now, so I am using more of that gray, just a very light wash to tone that down a little bit. And I'm doing the same on the right hand side building to give a little bit more of repetition and a certain rhythm, and again to tone things down. And while I am at it, I'm also adding blue for the sky, just a bright blue. I didn't even mix it. And with adding just a few bits of gray here and there to tone a few more things down and to give a little bit more of shadow feeling to some parts, that is it. I am done. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I really hope that you will go out and have your own sketching adventure. Maybe you can even meet with a friend and you can draw together. That is always really great to organize a sketch date. Speaking of drawing with friends, in 2024 I will go to Lisbon with my friend Cynthia Morris, and together we are hosting a creative adventure in the streets of Lisbon. So we will climb all the stairs, we will look at all the beauty there, the light, the colors, the people, and we'll be writing and drawing, and we'll be doing anything that feels creative and right when you're in Lisbon for a week together. So why am I telling you this? Because you can get a ticket for it, and we have just a small group so that we can actually do this together. So don't wait too long, because they might sell out. It would be fantastic if you can join us, and I will put the information and the link below this video in the description. And of course, don't forget to buy my book. It's still out there and it's really great. I just heard a few hours ago, someone told me it changed their lives, but just reading it, just so you know. And of course, subscribe to this channel. That would be great. Then you won't miss out on any of my weekly videos. And yeah, if you like to support that I'm posting weekly videos here, then you can also support me on Patreon, where you will get lots and lots of more inspiration and other stuff from me. Good, that's it for today. I'll see you next week. Bye!